And welcome everybody to This Is Difficult, a fun time podcast about video games and video game related things. This is Lord Yeshua, your super main host and not co-host at all. And we got Paul Ryugami-san over here, another super main host. Oh wait, they're all main hosts. Look at that. And then Colin is going to be 4Gs. He's a cool guy too. He does stuff. And then I lost my train of thought halfway through that because of the joke I made. So what's up everybody? Welcome to the thing. We're doing it. Yep. Pretty cool time.
How's everyone doing this week?
That one. Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. Been working, been streaming.
We can't talk about the thing, Colin?
Yeah, right.
We cannot. Okay, so me and Colin have a cool thing next week that you'll find out on the next podcast.
That thing. Yeah, that's
that thing. Yeah. We can talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, me and Colin met a developer for the online servers that we love to play all the time. So something cool that happened to us is that we're going to be able to play a lot of exclusive online server games like Majora's Mask and shit.
Pretty exciting.
And no one else is going to be able to play these. So go fuck yourselves. We're not giving them away. This is just incredible luck. This guy saw our YouTube video. Shout out to him. What's his name? Shout him out real quick.
Spicy Wolf.
Yeah, Spicy Wolf.
Spicy Wolf.
He's a badass developer. Literally found our YouTube video of Banjo-Kazooie.
So he's the one who does all the mods that you guys play.
He does
like the framework for it all, basically. Yeah. Like literally,
he's like backbone guy. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
Like he can replicate it himself.
It was incredible.
It's crazy.
Yeah. He was explaining to me how it all worked too. He was like, okay, and explained why we had missing notes. Remember how we only 99 notes?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or how the Jingos would as soon as you got the last one, he'd give you the Jiggy whatever.
Yes.
He explained why that all happened.
Why he was the guy that
what about the disappearing boots?
He explained
what about the boots? He explained that. What did he say?
Yeah.
Did he say a way around it?
No, he said
great for our run.
We think, what did he say? There might be a little way, but he said the only way around it was just the one where you basically the other person could get a honeycomb, fill up your thing, and then it'd fill up your health basically. So that's the way you can get around at least one of them, but the other one you had to reset. Anyway, it had
pretty incredible though.
The boots have 3 states, he said. It's
shit.
Cutscene, inactive, and active. And it got stuck on cutscene or something like that.
Oh.
And then it despawned. So
so he's aware.
Oh yeah. So once you reload the game, it goes, what am I? Am I active? I'm not deactive. So I must not be on a cutscene. So I have to be
So you have to restart.
So you have to restart to get it.
So as soon as we get unlock Bubble Gloop, we restart. As soon as we unlock Freeze Easy, we restart.
Once you get the move.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Very interesting for our speed run. Really excited to play Majora's Mask. This is really groundbreaking for me, and 4Gs this is really incredible. Yeah. I'll just give you a little spoiler. We're getting Majora's Mask, Banjo-Tooie, and Super Mario 64, which has not had an online server yet, although you have seen us play it co-op. But this is going to be
it's online. It has been online before.
Really?
There's a whole other community that did it basically.
This will just be a different one then, and we'll
it's a
see,
different.
compare.
It won't be as good probably.
Is he the same guy who did the Zelda randomizer and stuff?
He does some randomizer, I thought.
He
knows them. That's what it was.
Oh, cool.
Okay, yeah. No, they're it's crazy. We tapped into we tapped into actual gods here. These people create the games we play. Yeah. Me and Colin, this is the best joke he ever said. He was he's our best dealer ever. I was this guy is the good shit.
Dude, he's got that good dude.
It was just nuts. He said okay, he couldn't figure out the game ID for the notes in Banjo-Tooie or Banjo-Kazooie because they have a floating number basically, which means it changes
depending on which one you get.
And so you can't know which one it is. Okay. So what he figured out was the XYZ location of them is about the same every single time it loads the level. Not quite, but it's close. And that's how he figured out. But the problem is they're so close together, it doesn't know which one you grabbed. So it gets confused and then doesn't.
So it's inevitable that some will be missed.
The best way he said to get it was to basically go on the level and grab it and then get back out basically as fast as you can. And
grab one?
Yeah, grab one.
Oh, and then leave and then come back in.
And then it should give you the max.
Oh,
basically.
Genius.
Also, remember when he went in the shell, whatever, and Clipper or whatever? Remember that? Remember when he went in there and the notes were missing, but you got them still?
Yes.
The camera was picking the notes up. There's a glitch, there's a bug. The camera acts as a player.
Fuck?
Yeah, there's only 2 collisions.
This is
in the game.
madness.
It's Banjo and the camera touches the notes.
We should bring this guy onto the podcast as a guest.
Nuts. Yeah.
Cool.
Can he be a guest? Holy shit, that'd be a genius
awesome.
idea. This guy has a lot of cool shit to say, and we really tapped into something.
He said he'd actually sit down with us while we did a playthrough and just talk it through, basically.
No joke. I just want to reiterate, this guy found us by watching our YouTube video of his playthrough, of the game he made. So this guy found our fucking video. It's just so crazy to me how this all happened. We really tapped into something cool. So you guys are going to see and hear a lot of cool stuff coming out of us this week. I do, however, have Paper Mario Origami King. All my streams have a countdown on it, so it's gonna be tough. Every other crack that I have is gonna be filled with this online stuff with Colin. That'll be sick. Oh,
Excellent.
Wait. Yeah. And aside from that, I played Paper Mario 1, which is exquisite. Oh, it's so good. It's like a fine wine that never gets bad. It's really amazing. Oh yeah, host. Nice. I need to do that.
Just do that, just
Any
so
other
you get-
awesome games you guys play this week?
Paper Mario, little Pokemon. I've been playing a little Pokemon pretty hard competitively, and it's
Bro,
been disgusting.
we
I've
need
been
to-
exploding.
We need to hook up.
Yeah, my
and
doubles team.
you
I've
need
been
to-
getting into
you need to
doubles
guide me.
now. Oof.
You need to
It's
guide
gross.
my cock.
I have a lot of like
Pokemon.
really competitive extras too now that I can like toss your way.
That's a super bad
It's
reference. If
gross.
anyone thinks I'm being a pervert, I
I-
said that
oh,
on stream the
yeah.
other day, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
And I
"What?"
was like, what?
So super
Scratch my
bad
cock.
reference.
Maybe
When
don't
they're
say that to Josh.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch your cock. Is that what he says?
He's like,
No,
oh
please
yeah, I
don't.
remember that.
He's like, oh.
yeah, they're talking about when they're talking about McLovin, and they're like, "We cock blocked him. We're not supposed to cock block him. We're supposed to guide his." Anyway.
Honestly,
Anyway.
that movie, when I saw it in theaters for the first time, and I wasn't like stoned or anything, like was like the funniest thing I'd ever seen in
Dude,
theaters.
that
at the time.
movie holds
I, like,
up. It's still really funny.
I was dying laughing seeing that. That and like Hot Rod, I like died.
Dude,
But
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod is
I
incredible.
didn't watch Hot
yeah.
Rod for the longest time because I thought
Same,
it looked
yeah.
so stupid, and then I watched it. And I'm like, this movie's the best.
I
movie
died. I watched it like
ever.
3
So
times
funny.
in a row. It
Me
was so
too.
amazing. Hot
Yeah.
Rod, it's like a cult class. It's just
I
like
love that
funny,
movie.
dude.
I love that
In
movie.
What way?
So the first
Yeah.
time I tried to see it in theaters with my buddy,
Been drinking
we
green
walk
tea all
in-
goddamn day.
Schools are great for holding water.
Okay, I go in to see Hot Rod with my buddy, and it's like me, us, and some other dudes, and like some firefighters and shit. And we're all ready to see fucking Hot Rod. And then the Bratz movie comes on, and the Bratz movie plays, and we're all like, "What the fuck?" And all of us walk out like a bunch of dudes. We're like, "What the hell?" And we all get our money back. And I never got to see it in theaters after that.
Yeah, I
was
didn't
like,
see it in
I was
theaters.
robbed of my experience because of
Why did
Bratz.
the Bratz movie?
I didn't
They
see it
accidentally
until
played it in a
like
theater. They didn't have the reel or
a
something.
couple
Like, they were
years
like, "I'm so
after
sorry, we can't set
after
it
it
up in
came
time."
out. Like I saw it on DVD because like I said, I avoided it. When the trailers I thought looked really dumb, and I was like, yeah, not into it. And then I finally
so
watched it, and I
good.
was
It's
just like,
gold.
what have I been missing? It's
That's
amazing.
like how it was with Walk Hard for me. I didn't
Mhm.
see Walk Hard until years later, and that's one of my favorite fucking movies of all time now. Walk Hard.
Yeah, Walk Hard's pretty good.
It's really good.
So I played the new Curse of the Moon, Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon 2. And
Ooh.
that game is freaking rad. We've talked about
Curse of the-
Bloodstained before on here. It's
Okay.
like it's Castlevania, only
Ah,
not officially Castlevania. It's Castlevania not made by Konami. And
okay.
the Curse of the Moon series is in the style of the old Nintendo ones.
Oh.
And it's super
Good
cool.
ones.
There's a whole bunch of different playable characters, bunch of abilities. It's got like the really awesome, pixel art graphics. It just feels so much like a Castlevania game, and a lot of like the original Castlevania creators worked on these games too. So that came out on Friday, and I've been playing a little bit of that. And then obviously
Nice.
I finished
Oh,
Paper Mario yesterday.
The 1,000 years old.
Oh, that is one thing that I should mention about
Ooh.
Curse of the Moon 2 is that it has co-op in the new one. So like I really can't wait to like I don't think there's any Castlevania games that have co-op. So not that I know of. So I'm super excited to try that
maybe
out.
not. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe they're all one player. I think.
Very excited. But yeah, I finished
That's
Paper
sick.
Mario and the Thousand Year Door yesterday. And that is our feature game. Before we get into the discussion about
that's Paper
that,
Mario 1.
before we get into the discussion about that, let's talk about our new
pretty excited
structure
about that.
for
Yes.
for the feature game. So before we would just pick a feature game and we took turns picking it,
This guy.
and yeah, we just like pulled one out of our brain and
yes, brain. That's where it came from.
held everyone at gunpoint and we're like, you must play this game. And it was game of the week before, and that worked okay, especially when we were doing Super Nintendo games. But when we started doing like bigger games, it really wasn't very plausible. And so we left it open ended, and it kind of became like this weird game of cat and mouse of like, what game can I play to make my co-host lives miserable for the next couple weeks, and like, how long can I put off playing this game, before we have to talk about it on the show. And so that wasn't really working out. So we decided on a better system where each of us picked 5 games.
Pretty fun.
And we all pick a game that someone else put on the list, and we will play through that game on like a rotation. So I just finished Paper Mario. Colin picked Katana Zero, and he'll be presenting that next week.
Fantastic game.
And I believe, Josh, are you doing Hyper Light Drifter?
The issue is that I picked that game, though.
But that's fine if you've never played it. Have you never played it?
I have never played that.
That's
so
fine.
Hyper Light with my... So we won't spoil all the picks, but our initial picks are those. Yeah. So pretty excited.
those are our current picks. And what we'll be doing is we'll have a feature game every single week.
Instead of... We're on fire.
Yeah. So as soon as, we're finished with the game, we pick a new game. I've already picked a new one. I'll tell you guys at the end of the show what my new game is, and then it'll be like a 3-week rotation. So that way we have a good amount of time to play the game, but we're also limited to like that 3-week rotation. So like we're not sitting on a game for months. You know what I mean? So I think that's really cool. That's how we're gonna do it going forward. What else needs to be said about this? I think that pretty much covers it, right? Do you guys have any other input on that?
No.
That's it. And that way we're not rushing through the game. And I'm highly encouraging. This is by no means required. But for instance, I streamed Paper Mario while I was playing through it. I'm highly encouraging that we play the game on stream at least once during our review period, so that we can involve you guys in that process as well. Hopefully we can make some of that happen. I know there's a lot of big games coming up that some of us are going to play, and we're actually going to be working some of those into the feature game, like the new Paper Mario and Ghost of Tsushima, things like that. So
it's because we intrinsically have to play those games.
Right, exactly. So without further ado, let's get into Paper Mario.
Woo! Super excited. Okay. I want to preface this real quick by saying me and Colin love this game, and he will hurt our feelings by saying anything negative, and we will not be friends anymore. So continue as you were.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna hit a button if
I'm just kidding.
If we lose your audio, I need to fix it live. So hang on. I'm gonna hit this real quick. Go ahead and talk. I think we're good. All right, I think we're good.
I lost my audio.
Do we have audio?
Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
And test. Yes. Okay.
Testing.
Cool. So I've got Paper Mario gameplay going on in the background. I just wanted to make sure. All right. So let's talk about the game.
1,000 Year Door, baby.
1,000 Year Door.
Amazing game.
It's a good game. Let me give my first impressions. Which I kind of have already a little bit. It's an RPG.
I got that.
It definitely kind of in the JRPG style, but with a Mario twist on it.
Exactly, hammers and jumping and stuff.
Yeah, they definitely took some liberties. Though, if you've played Mario RPG,
kind of has the heart of it.
It kind of has the heart of that. I think that I know that the Paper Mario series is kind of like a spiritual successor to Mario RPG. There was a rift between Nintendo and Squaresoft, which is who made, a Mario RPG. And so they weren't able to carry that forward, which is why they went into Paper Mario. Where do I start here? As far as like the graphics are concerned, it's a beautiful game. You can see it in the background. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It holds up so well right now.
It holds up really well. The choice to do that kind of stylized paper cartoony look is a good choice instead of going for a more like 3D aesthetic, because it stands the test of time. We've talked about that a lot on the podcast with regards to other games.
Yeah. I think for that
and-
regard, if it does well, Origami King will look extraordinarily good in like 10, 20 years as well. If that's like renowned as a good game.
Mhm.
Same thing, like how that art style just holds up.
The recent Paper Mario game, Color Splash, or those look
The one
really
on
good.
the Wii U looked really good, and I was like, I
Yeah.
wish I wanted to play this.
Right.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, so in regards to that, it's a gorgeous game. I think you can't say anything bad about how the game looks. The music is fantastic.
Oh yes, the music is
Um,
amazing. Koji Kondo and someone else did that. I can't remember her name, but someone new on the scene from Paper Mario 1. But Koji still amazing.
Right. Which like and it definitely has that classic Mario feel throughout. You know,
Yeah.
there's never a point in the game where the music doesn't feel like you're playing a Mario game.
Yeah.
But
love
it also has like you know, a more traditional RPG tone to it as well. So like that's done really well. The writing is very clever.
Very fun.
Very fun. Very
Characters all seem very varied, right?
Mhm. Yeah. And then the battle mechanics are also extremely unique. It's got, you know, kind of like a quick time system.
Yeah.
Things like that that keep it interesting as opposed to more traditional JRPG style where it's just you click on a command and it does it, and it's, you know, you see a shitty little animation. It keeps
And
you
the
more
badges,
involved in battles.
The badge is always augmenting your battle style too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Which I think there are some good and bad things about the badge system. That also kind of coincide with the leveling system in Paper Mario. This is one of the things I didn't like about the game was
sorry, go ahead.
I never from start to finish of the game, I never felt like leveling made me more powerful. I never felt like it made my character grow. Other than, you know, I could choose to have more HP, which didn't necessarily make me stronger. It just made me a little more durable. I could choose to have more. I had a lot of different badges. But
it's basically, it's up to the badges to make you stronger, really. I see what you're saying.
That's
you don't
what I'm
like
saying.
Aside from the hammer and jump, you don't naturally get stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
I get
that's
that.
what I'm saying. So they're like leveling didn't ever make me feel like I was gaining any progress. And that's where the badges come in. And I think that's fine. I think there should be maybe a blend of both. And I would have liked that better.
I do think this is going to be corrected in Origami King, because I'm actually thinking that although I didn't mind the system, I do think it possibly could be improved upon, for sure. And I think in Origami King, someone was referencing the level up system is going to be more like optional. So you can kind of do it on your own, like by collecting coins or some shit instead of leveling up. So it won't be seen. You'll be actually gain strength and all that, and like your stats go up, as opposed to just Mario like does the same, like 10 levels and nothing happens, you know, unless you equip badges.
Another problem I have with the game was the inventory space. Now this would have been,
you can double it. There is a secret item that lets you double
but
your
even if it was
space.
doubled, it's still a pretty shitty amount of inventory space.
20?
But here's the thing. It's not a problem because you don't need to use the items. I used literally 5 items through my
items
entire
are not
playthrough.
super necessary.
They're not super necessary. The game, and this isn't necessarily a criticism, but you guys are probably going to take it as a criticism,
it's an
so
easier
prepare
game.
yourself.
I know you're going to say
The
it's
game
easy.
feels like a RPG that was designed for a younger audience.
I'm gonna kill you.
Which, like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think you should take it as a bad thing.
No,
because
it's an
there's plenty
E-rated
of,
Nintendo game. I'm fully aware of that.
Yeah.
I was fucking 12 when this game came out. I was younger.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was the perfect demographic. I admit.
Yeah. So, like, I think I only had one challenging battle in the entire game where I lost like 3 of my partners. And that wasn't the final battle.
The last fight was hard though. You were still like, this is kind of intense. I overheard you say.
You guys made it seem much harder than it was.
I thought it was gonna be a lot harder for you, honestly.
I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be
really well. Yeah.
Well, especially so, like that first phase where she becomes invulnerable. I didn't know that there was like a short cutscene and then a new battle phase in between. I thought that was the final battle, right?
Yeah.
And so with her being immortal, I'm like scrambling to make sure my characters stay alive and try and figure out a way to actually do damage, but I didn't have to because in the next phase of the battle it was
you
going
still
to
can't
end.
die during that phase.
Right. Well, I wasn't going to, but I thought I was. You know,
and honestly, you don't really ever have to heal your partners. I always let them die, and like if we have a live stream, be like, sure, or heal them before just so they don't use the live stream.
I feel like, you know,
what the fuck? Wait till you see me Danger Mario this shit. Come on,
you gonna do that?
I might just play the ending for fun.
Yeah.
Danger Mario. Oh, Bone Tail, he's never seen.
You could do that. You get the pit.
The pit is honestly, there's a method to becoming a god in this game without cheating, like actually cheating, like just badges and waiting. I don't know. I'll explain to you later.
No, I know what you're talking about. So there's that like challenge pit or whatever, and you can gain a lot of things. There's a bunch of special items and shit you can get through that.
Well, there's even a different way to become a god. Actually, it's crazy.
Sure.
So like you make your life 5, so you bring yourself down to 5 life with a guy that swaps your stats around. And so you max out badge and max out FP, 5 life. So it's Danger Mario because he's in danger. And there are a ton of badges that affect you when you're in danger. Like there's one,
I saw that. Yeah.
There's one that costs 1 that increases your power by 2 called Power Rush. And it costs 1 and you can buy them. So what you do is you buy 10 of them and now you're hitting for 25 every hit. So you do power bounce and you're like 25, 24, 23, 22, 21.
Boots on and like what ice boots, whatever.
So what you do is you put spike resistance, fire resistance, feeling fine, which means you can't be poisoned. You put 3 damage dodges on, which means it quadruples the chance of getting hit, and you put the other one that halves your damage when you're in 5 or less. So it's like, I would say you take 20, JK it's 10, JK it's 5, JK it's 2.5, so it rounds down to 2. So you go down to 2, you're at 5, you go down to 3 health, and then you happy heart back up to 5. It's like mental. You cannot die. You're an absolute god.
Right.
It's amazing.
So
it's really fun.
And I can see
minutes.
where that would be fun. And like I think hardcore fans of the game like you guys would definitely enjoy things like that. When I was playing through this, I was doing it within a set time period for this review and so on and so forth. So I couldn't take time out to like
and that's not a first
learn super unique builds, go do the challenge pit, things like that. I wanted to get
didn't
through.
learn that until like my 10th playthrough.
Yeah, I wanted to get through the chapter, which brings me to my next and probably final criticism.
What the okay.
And then I'll suck the game's dick after that.
Last criticism, then suck its dick.
Some of the chapters were painful to play through.
I'm gonna kill you.
And this is why. Like they become extremely repetitive. To the point where it's frustrating. You're like walking back and forth between the same area over and over again. In at least, I would say probably 4 out of the 8 chapters are like this. And the last 2 chapters, I think, were the best 2 chapters of the game.
I do love 8 a lot.
The intro to chapter 7 is fucking brutal.
You have to walk right for 4 frames, and then there's the moon. Just blow up the rock. That's all you do.
No. Before that, before you even get to the moon, before you even get to the moon. So you go to the snowy place.
Oh, you're talking about Admiral. That's renowned as the worst part in the game. Actually,
it's the worst part.
You're talking about General White, but then it's followed by a really awesome shoot you out of a rocket scene, which I love.
Sure. Yeah. Let me give my impression, and then you can jump on me for it. Okay. So
I agree that part is tedious.
This is what my experience was. It had been a few days since I last played the game. I get to that area and he tells me to go find 2 characters, right? So I spend probably 30 minutes looking around that town for these characters and they're obviously nowhere to be found. There's really no indication unless you very specifically remember who the Gold Babam is.
Which you do because the chapter before.
I didn't though. And so if I had continually played through
Yeah.
I might have
I see
remembered
what you're
him. It
saying,
would have been
because you
sharp.
took a break. So
But
you're
I
like, who the
I took
fuck?
a couple day break. I get there,
Yeah.
they're talking about these people I expect to be in that town,
That makes
and then they
sense.
send me on a wild fucking goose chase through almost every area in the game, which was real annoying. So I finally figured out where I needed to go. I had to go hop on the goddamn train, get back to the fucking place, talk to the guy. Then he sends me to another place. The guy's not there. He sends me to another place. The guy's not
There's a
there. He
warp
sends
pipe.
me to another guy. I know there's warp pipes, and I found some of the warp pipes, but I
There's one
also
for each
don't
town.
know the game as well as you guys. So for someone
You're
first
right.
playing the game, it's hard for you to like know exactly where to go to get to those places, you know? And so I
Yeah.
used the resources that I had to do that. And it took me like maybe 3.5 hours to get to the fucking moon. And that was brutal, and I was pissed at the end of that
I honestly
playthrough.
think that is the weakest part of the game. It really
Yeah, I
is.
don't know why they
It
do
was
that.
really rough. But I will say
Which is-
this:
yeah.
once you get to the moon and you get to the moon base, the next, chapter and a half are fantastic. I think the
Yeah.
best part of the game.
Oh. Let me say real quick about the walking back and forth. This is something that was like, it's weird. It was fixed in the first game, and then they took it out in the second game. And Colin knows what I'm about to say. The spin move is Mario literally had a move in Paper Mario 1 where you could just press Z and spin, and you can make it faster even. So you save literally hours of gameplay just by traveling.
Yeah,
paths.
but even the fact that you have to go back and forth between a lot of places, like if you look at goddamn nearly every other RPG, you don't have to do that. Like maybe some here and there, like, and there's certainly fetch quests and things like that in
want
RPGs.
you to like, it's like the whole area is like, it's this area for this chapter. So like it's familiar. So I agree. There could have just been more new areas though, instead of backtracking. That's actually a good point.
And that was probably a limitation of like the size of the game is probably what that boiled down to.
Most
so instead of
notably-
making a more expanded area, they have they have different triggers for different events after you go and do
That
these
does
certain
sound like
things.
a hardware limitation.
Yeah.
Like I bet Origami King will not be in chapter 4.
It
it's
already
really,
everything that I've seen
stands
for
out.
Origami King seems that it's not like that at all, which is cool. So
I mean, my only real concern at this point about Origami King is that it loses its true essence. Like it's just like whatever about the gameplay at this point, but like I want it to feel like.
So I watched. Did you watch the Nintendo Treehouse yesterday or the day
I was
before?
like, I can't watch this. I turned it off. It's too much. I was like, this is way too much gameplay.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I didn't necessarily expect you to see that. So without giving any kind of spoilers, which I don't think they really did, honestly, everything they showed in that
I kind of knew like
in that thing they've already shown, but they were just kind of expounding on things. They did a good job of showcasing the game, I think, in the sense that like, sure, there's paper puns, which I'm sure you're gonna make a
maybe
fuss
they'll
about.
Be funny. Maybe
but
it'll
it didn't
be funny
seem
in the moment.
Yeah, it didn't seem nearly as heavy-handed as I think you guys are expecting.
I think the rubber band boss or the stapler boss is less heavy-handed. Okay. I'm not kidding. You can't write this. The hole punch boss.
Right.
They're all real fun.
No, I get that. But to me, like the writing looked clever, the world looked fun, the gameplay looks fun.
Still Intelligent Games.
Yeah.
It's Intelligent Games, the same people that did 1 and 2. And I still have hope, even though they also did the other hardware ones. So they did Color Splash and Sticker Star as well.
Yeah.
So I think there is a chance that this could really be an incredible game. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I am becoming more hopeful as it's drawing nearer and just like trying to embrace like what's about to happen to my body. And it could just be like so fun. And it could be very well be incredible and like feel like the next Paper Mario game. Could very well feel like a Super Paper Mario where it's like, this was a really fun game. Like I'm sure I'll enjoy it to some extent, but like it could very well just not feel like Paper Mario. And I think I'm ready for anything. So
for sure. So like in conclusion with Thousand Year Door, I really enjoyed the game. There was some very frustrating parts for me, but I think part of that was because I was playing it first time on stream and like not just chill at home, like doing like I'm trying to get through a story and do a review. But all in all, it was a good experience. I think that how do I say this? It didn't quite live up to the hype.
If you had to score it,
if I had to score it, I'd give it like
out
an
of 10.
8.9.
That's respect.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
can respect
It's a
that.
very good game.
Thank you.
As a
understand
fan of JRPGs,
Yeah.
it felt like, again, I don't want this to sound offensive, but it's the best way I can describe it. It felt like baby's first JRPG to me.
It's not trying to be the most extraordinary thing,
No, I
but
know,
it does
I know.
have its own flavor. It feels like a Mario
No,
game.
for sure. And that's what saves it, is like the really uniqueness of it.
If this wasn't
really
Mario,
awesome.
I wouldn't care at all.
Yeah.
Honestly,
But
it wouldn't feel,
for instance,
like
I
Bug Fables.
personally liked Mario RPG better than this game.
And that's fair. I can see that still.
But
I wonder if it's just which ones we grew up with.
Yeah, and I think that's probably part of it. But it's a great game. It's by no means a bad game.
8.9 I can respect.
Yeah.
There are so many redeeming parts, but I gotta say that what you said about the drawbacks, like the walking back and forth, is probably my biggest complaint about the game myself. I will say what Adam said here. He's annoyed we didn't mention it, but we were saying about the packaging or inventory system. It kind of makes sense here. It's trying to be more of like a scavenger game. It doesn't want you to just like have 100 items and get, here's your items, here's your gems, here's your blah blah.
Sure.
Like it just wanted you to have like battle weapons and healing weapons, and it was like you don't need too many.
Yeah. Right. You don't need any. Honestly, you don't need any. Yeah, if you play that game intelligently, you can play that game without using a single item. Literally, I used 5 items the entire playthrough. You can
KO most bad guys in one round.
Yeah.
If you have FP.
Yeah. Stacking items could have done wonders, but you don't need them. But like to be fair,
you have 5 mushrooms.
Sure.
But actually would have been pretty nice.
So to be fair, part of this was what my expectation was when set by you guys.
But again, 2004.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying this is like I start playing the game and you guys are like really emphasizing the importance of items. In fact, like even in the final,
we weren't sure. We thought you were more of a beginner. You handled yourself a lot better than we.
Yeah, you actually did. You're actually really good.
Yeah, so that's really what it was. We want you to be prepared for everything.
Sure, and I understand that, but in my conceived notion was, holy shit, I need these items or I'm going to die.
I mean, really, worst case,
so I'm like, why can't I have more than 10 fucking items or something like that? And I'm like, if they're so important, why can't I have I'm gonna die? But then I didn't need them, so it was fine. Yeah. But anyway, in total, it's a great game. It's a solid almost 9.
Just call it a 9.
It does have some. It's an 8.9.
It's a 10 for me.
It's an 8.95.
Alan, what would you score it?
A 10.
A 10 too. Well, looks like we're gonna round it up to a 10.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's so funny. I don't think
I love it.
I have a problem with scoring any game as a 10, but
it's kind of all difficult.
Not all games can be Mario.
Ocarina of Time and Thousand Year Door. Yeah, there's just not everything.
Yeah. But it's good. It's good.
That's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy playing it, and it was a really fun game to stream with like the enthusiasm of fans like you guys.
Yay,
so
except for chapter 6.
we all learned some things about ourselves.
We learned
during chapter 6, and we've grown from them, and we're all better friends because of it.
We're all better because of it.
Anyway, I'm gonna take the background gameplay off here, and
oh man, I can't wait to Origami King now.
I hit the wrong one.
I'm excited to watch it.
I'm excited. Yeah, I hope you guys all tune in for that. I'll be giving constant commentary and probably commentary from the chat.
I'd like that. I'd like feedback.
Yeah, I'll give you a ton of constant feedback on how it feels and whatnot.
Awesome. Let's get into the topic question of the week.
Is it Paper Mario related?
It's not.
Damn it.
So we're gonna talk about Half-Life 3. Just kidding. Here's the topic question. It's kind of multifaceted here. So Half-Life Alyx Final Hours is a documentary by Jeff Keighley about the last decade of Valve and the making of Half-Life Alyx release. It also features a bunch of canceled Valve projects. So like Half-Life 3. It's available for $9.99 on Steam if you're interested in going to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. I do want to watch it. But the question here is, are documentaries about video games things that people are interested in? Is the first part of the question. And then the second part of the question is bringing up canceled projects such as Half-Life 3 or Left 4 Dead 3 an interesting thought experiment or just rubbing salt in people's wounds?
Okay, so for the first one, what was the first question one more time?
The first question is, are documentaries about
Okay,
games things that people are interested in watching?
I think that's absolutely, because that not only it piques the interest of me, you, and Colin, and people like us, but my mom and other people like that wouldn't normally care, and they can make it seem kind of interesting in like a fun way for other people that would just kind of stumble into it. Anything on Netflix is stumbleable, like, you know, like put it on channels like that. And like I even remember like the Super Meat Boy documentary back in the day. Like I stumbled on that. I love that documentary.
I watched a really good one about one of the games that we had as featured game, Bastion. That's an awesome documentary.
I saw one of those.
Yeah.
Wait, did I see the same one?
Maybe. We might have watched the same one.
I don't know if I saw the whole thing though.
God damn, that game's so good.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite games.
That's a great game. But regardless, like it's great insight for people like us. But I think it's amazing to put it on like mainstream platforms so that we can kind of bring it into light. Like we're seeing how things are made type shows and stuff like that. I want to see documentaries on video games, or even how video games are made. Like all of that sounds like very interesting television territory that needs to be tapped. As far as second question again, what was that?
The second question is bringing up canceled projects such as Half-Life 3 or Left 4 Dead 3 an interesting thought experiment, or just rubbing salt in the wounds?
I think that's salt in the wounds. And it's like, personally, like it's cool to like mention it in passing, be like, so when we were working on this, and then can talk about like other things, but to just be like elaborate and like make a story about it, and for that to be like part of the documentary. Or
I have a follow-up to this in the news tonight, by the way. But
so yeah, I don't love that.
So I think that it depends on how it's presented. You know, if it's a documentary about a certain game and they bring up a canceled project and why they canceled it and what kind of, you know, tribulations they might have been going through, and they pay respect to the players and like give good reasons for why a project was canceled, then it can be good. If they're just like, haha, we were making fat cash on Steam and we didn't need to make Half-Life 3, then you know, that's disrespectful. That's salt in the wound.
I don't know, a swan
song
story about a video game. Like, think about, like, imagine a documentary about, like, literally, like, say Origami King never came out and Paper Mario never got another game that was good. And there's, like, a documentary about the series that never finished. Like, that would be, like, really fucking sad. Like, it would be insightful, but, like,
let me pause you.
I'd rather that just not exist.
Did the stream just freeze?
No.
Okay. Because my preview window just froze.
No, we good. I still got.
We're good.
It's frozen for me.
The stream's froze. And there he is. We're back.
Okay. 6 minutes
we fixed it. Damn, that was rough. All right.
6 minutes of audio.
All right. Cool. All right. So where were we? Talking about Half-Life Alyx. So sorry about that. That was rough.
We're talking about Paper Mario. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, Colin, what do you think about those two things? Are documentaries interesting about video games, and is bringing up canceled projects?
No, I'm always excited by that, because like it's really cool to see people's like unreleased, like Adam said, like unreleased stuff that they poured their heart and souls into, even if they didn't get released, which is sad.
Yeah,
it still is cool, and like it also gives you not hindsight, but like perspective. Maybe like, yeah, it canceled because of, you know, we just never felt like it was really good, or maybe because of this or because of this reason. It's like,
okay, maybe
yeah. So like I can appreciate that. I mean, like obviously if it's like, yeah, fuck you guys, but I can't imagine someone would make a documentary that would, I mean, like, unless someone just was like out to be like, Valve's a horrible, you know, company that just cares about money and like, you know, didn't want to make Half-Life 3 because they didn't think it make them enough money or whatever.
Right.
Like, that would be really sad, you know, and that paint them in a bad light. But again, it's about stories, you know, and like hopefully it's about like people overcoming or people failing even, you know. So
yeah,
that's interesting to me.
Very good. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that, man.
Inspiring.
Let's wrap up with some news, and Josh, you can get off to your date.
If there's one.
If there is one. So here we go. Today, Ubisoft Forward 2020 happened, which was their live stream, their E3, whatever. There was some interesting stuff. Watch Dogs Legion was showcased again, which that game looks incredible. Have you guys seen anything on this
just
game?
is like, I just don't know if Watch Dogs is good anymore.
Right.
Or
So
was ever really good.
let me pause you there. I've never been interested in a Watch Dogs game. This game looks amazing. Literally every NPC in the game is a playable character potentially. You can recruit.
You can hack or like recruit people.
Yeah, you can recruit anyone in the game as a playable character for
just like the U.S. government. I mean,
exactly. That's good. They revealed some story details. They expanded on different abilities and how to recruit NPCs and like how different NPCs or like different characters have different techniques and abilities for accomplishing like the same mission. So you basically can play this game however you want. If you want to be stealthy, you can. If you want to be like a brawler, you can. If you want to be like, dude, there's even a John Wick style like that you can get that looks incredible. It's very cool. Different vehicles, different weapons, depending on what citizens you choose as operatives. It looks interesting, and they gave a release date, which is October 28th.
Okay, could be
so
game.
It looks interesting. I'm excited about it. They also showed a bunch of mobile games, which no one cares about.
Nope.
And their new Battle Royale, which came out the other day.
I'm not hearing a game I really want Ubisoft to make a new one of.
And then they finished it with no, they didn't finish it. The next thing that they went over was Assassin's Creed. We actually got some new gameplay footage of Valhalla, which
I like the trailer.
They also included some story beats and stuff, which is cool. To me, the game really doesn't look like an Assassin's Creed game.
The series is dead.
The series, so it looks like a fun game, but it looks like a survival / Viking simulator.
You need to stop calling it Paper Mario. I mean Assassin's Creed. It's the same thing though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that after Black Flag, I was like, that was just a pirate game. What the fuck?
Sure. There's, they added in crafting and hunting and like a survival system. There's settlement building. Like how in what way is this Assassin's Creed? Like, it looks fun.
Creed 3.
Sure. Settlement building?
Yeah. When you were,
really?
It was the Native American one. You literally create settlement in early America. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't play that far into the series. I played up to 2.
After Ezio Saga, I was like,
yeah. But, again, looks fun. Looks like basically The Witcher. If you enjoy The Witcher games, you're going to enjoy this game.
I enjoy the show.
Really good.
The Witcher games are fine. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, The Witcher show is fun.
But if you're looking for like an Assassin's Creed game, or at least like most people's concept of what an Assassin's Creed game was or should have been, or
yeah, it's not that.
It ain't it. We did get a release date for it. Yeah, it looks more like God of War mixed with and
even God of War is kind of
The Witcher.
I'm sorry. It's like not God of War anymore because
don't
the God of
start
War is
with me.
Ares. The whole series was whatever. The whole thing is.
Don't even start with me, bro.
Yeah, me and Paul disagree on this heavily.
The newest God of War game is one of my favorite games of all times.
I think it's the worst in the series. I think Ascension is worse, actually, but I think that's next.
Wow.
I just think 3, 2, 1 in that order, and they're so.
That's
good.
fine, and I'm not knocking the old God of War games. They're great. They're super fun. But I personally thought the newest one was the best in the series.
It was about Kratos. But that's what I'm saying. What I meant, Adam, was like Ares is only in like the original in the Greek, and then it's like, why is it called God of War anymore?
Yeah.
It's like, was he another God of War?
He's the God of War. He's the God of War.
He's the God of War, but he rejects it if anyone ever watched the second one.
Yeah.
He rejects it.
Watch is appropriate because those games play like movies.
Yes, but then you jump off the throne, Adam, and you reject it. Those movies, or damn it, those games are honestly the third one. The first time I played it, I was like blown away. It was like the best cinematic game I've ever played.
Dude, God of War was the best movie I played that year.
I know. Like, I keep saying movie.
No, I'm really with you. It was a movie game, but it was like it was incredible. I loved it. Anyway, but we can digress from that. They closed the show out with Far Cry 6 reveal trailer and release date, which is going to be February 18th, 2021.
I couldn't be more
it looks fine. I've never been a Far Cry fan.
The trailer doesn't do anything to me. I don't understand the trailer. I saw the Far Cry trailer and I was like, what?
It looked like some kind of like radicals in some kind of oppressive government.
Fuck. That sounds like I don't want to play that kind of game now.
Like they're in Venezuela dropping grenades off of roofs and like making kids drop grenades off roofs or something. It looked whack, but I mean it's fine. Like yeah. I've never played a Far Cry game. I know they have a huge following, but they didn't show any gameplay, so like I can't judge a game by a reveal trailer that has no gameplay, and especially
playing them now,
especially if it's a game that like maybe if I had experience with those games, I could like when you see a trailer, they tend to like subliminally put features, even if there's no gameplay, they put things into the trailer that are going to be gameplay features, right?
True.
And so maybe if I was a fan of the game, I could have picked up on some of that, but really I just saw the guy from Gus from Breaking Bad like making some kid drop a grenade into a crowd of people.
It was a good like short film, but I didn't think like the cutscene did.
Good short
film. I actually was like, oh, this is a pretty cool trailer, but like for what? Like what the fuck am I? But Adam's saying it's always about the villain, so like it's just like the villain. It's just like here's your villain. So if you're it seems like a trailer for fans then. Yeah. Like it's cool for people like us. I'm not going to play it because of it, but for other people, they're like, "Sick, our new villain. This is awesome." So that kind of makes sense to me. It kind of like reveals your new like character, kind of. If you're, I see a lot of people into that series. I have no interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. Our next bit of news: Sony invests $250 million. I typed milling because I'm illiterate. Into Epic Games for a 1.4% stake in the company.
Jesus hell.
Yeah.
Wow. Are they about to pump into it?
I don't know. They basically just wanted a minority stake in the company. I'm guessing they probably want Epic to make some exclusive games for them. So that's probably, or give them some kind of preferential treatment in some way. But a 1.4, to give you perspective, Tencent bought 46% of the company for $340 million a few years ago.
Jesus hell.
Right? And so like that gives you an idea of like the valuation of Epic now because of Fortnite, honestly. Yeah. Really because of Fortnite. So just a few years ago, Tencent got a majority stake holding on Epic, or like a 50% essentially.
How would they do that?
What do you mean? How would they do that?
Why would they give someone half of their fucking company?
They gave them like 40 something. They didn't give half, but you got to understand that like it's a majority holding. So they like it's 40. I think it was 46% or something to that degree. I don't know. Maybe we're getting fact checked right now in the live notes. I don't know. That gives them majority control because there's other people that have stake in the company. You know what I mean? That own stuff. So, but for just a few years later, Sony to put, just like basically 100 million less than Tencent did, to get only 1.4% is insane. 48.4% is the issued share that Tencent has. Jesus.
Wow, that dude just made like $2 billion.
Yeah, holy shit.
Tencent, that mean he made like billions.
I think the current valuation is like 15 billion, something like that. I'm not
sure. He made 7 billion, that means. Yeah. If he has like half of it or less. Yeah. Wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's freaking insane. But yeah, so that happened. Xbox Series X first party games showcase is coming July 23rd, which is in like 2 weeks. So that should be interesting. I mean, right now, I don't think Xbox Series X has anything going for it as far as like what would make me want to buy it over the PlayStation. So we're gonna find out. Hopefully, it's more than just Halo Infinite because I don't
No,
think
it's not
that
gonna be. It's gonna be a piece of shit.
yeah, I think Halo Infinite's gonna be doo-doo butts.
I think this is the last Xbox console to be like considered. Like
I will
they're
say
already,
this.
like, I can't believe anyone fucking like has them as their like main console. Being honest, I don't get that.
I kind of agree with you, but I will say this. Microsoft has spent the last like 3 years acquiring game companies and integrating them into their family of
Proof is in the pudding
developers.
now.
Yeah, well, I don't think we've really seen any stuff from them
Pudding.
yet since they've acquired these companies. I think
Okay.
now is when we're going to start seeing that. So they could hit us on this date with some crazy exclusives
Here's Jack and
that we're not
Dexter.
expecting at all.
Jack and Dexter 11. You happy?
Psychonauts 2.
Does anyone give a shit?
Colin gives a shit.
Colin gives us kind of a shit about Psychonauts 2.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Are you gonna buy an Xbox block?
Is that all it's for?
Yeah,
I don't know that it's going to be exclusive to Xbox. And even the one thing about Xbox is that most
be
of
on
their
PC.
if not all of their
Is that
exclusives will be on PC. So
So why buy it?
yeah, exactly. But
It's like, what the fuck?
yeah,
They're shooting
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
in the butt.
I agree. I think that's kind of part. I think it's one of the things that they do right, but it also hurts them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the fact that all of your Game Pass ecosystem stuff can be played on PC is incredible, but I think it hurts the sales of Xbox.
I think
You
my
know?
biggest issue with Xbox, now that I'm kind of realizing it now, they kind of muscle their way onto the scene. Like, they're just like,
For
I'm
sure,
a big,
yeah.
here's all the money, I'm a company, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, so many fail just because they don't get their face out there. They just like force themselves in front of us for so many years until it's stuck.
Mhm.
Like Nintendo was like, like a guy in his basement or whatever. I don't know. But like, it's like, but all
No.
these companies proved themselves
Okay.
Yeah.
like back in the heyday. Xbox just comes on the scene, and maybe I just feel like they don't deserve it. Even Sony like really proved itself along with Nintendo back in the 90s. Like they
Yeah.
galvanized themselves in the early consoles.
I agree.
Like those are the guys to surface, like with Sony and Nintendo, and the Xbox is like,
And Sega,
I
and then
make
Sega
computers.
shot themselves
And
in
Sega,
the foot,
they
which
really
is a
coulda
big
kept-
bummer.
Sega could be the Xbox right now if they didn't. Like, it
I
could be
wish they
three
were. I
bigs.
wish they were.
Honestly, I gotta think
Oh,
Nintendo
Sega.
outlasts everything just because of the heart. Like,
Yeah,
the
me
heart
too.
outlasts.
I
hope they
actually
don't financially go
100%
under.
agree with that. Yeah.
I hope the money doesn't make them ever go under, because like that would be the only reason that people would stop caring about Nintendo. I will never stop buying a Zelda game until I am a dead person.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I will be 70 years old.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, Breath of the Wild 12.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, and then the final bit of news, which ties into what we were talking about earlier with Half-Life. Valve has stated that they're basically not afraid to make new Half-Life games anymore, and they want to port Half-Life to consoles as well. So like Half-Life Alyx. So you don't need VR to be able to play that game, which should be really awesome.
That's really awesome.
Because in order to play that game, you got to drop like at least $1,000 on like
The computer and the hardware, like VR hardware.
Oh no, it's like
Game.
$2,000. Yeah. It's
yeah,
crazy.
really, because it won't play
800
on
for the
shitty
Oculus,
computers. Yeah.
That's
The
true.
thing,
Yeah.
what's it called? The Indel Expo?
Index.
The Index is
Index.
800. My brother-in-law has one. He's like,
No
yeah,
way, really.
800
They're pretty
bucks.
awesome, apparently.
He has what we're talking about, Half-Life, and he's like, there's no comparison. It's like better than real life.
Yeah.
It's like an absolutely
what I've heard, yeah.
bar setting game, he
Yeah.
said. And he's like he's a coder and everything. He's like, this is a bar setting game. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Fucking intense.
Yeah. Adam makes a really good point in chat. He says, I remember being said, though, before the Wii came out, that Nintendo had enough cash reserves that they could not sell a single console for 50 years and still be in business,
Yeah.
which is insane. So
Yeah,
I don't
with the
think they're going
Switch,
anywhere.
The Switch is like a literal like meth commodity. Like, you know, like
It is,
you
yeah.
need a Switch.
Well,
And
people
if,
are price gouging the Switch right now because you can't find
dude,
one in
if you
stores.
fucking
So,
walk by
yeah.
a Switch in a store and you
Mhm.
don't even want a Switch, you're probably gonna buy that Switch. Like, you're probably gonna just buy it just because of how amazingly rare it is
Mhm.
now. And on top of that, it's just such an awesome console. Like, who doesn't fucking want a Switch as a present, as like just to have one?
Mhm.
Like, even if you just play Animal Crossing or Pokemon, it's like, even if you just play Pokemon, it's like the best
Yeah.
thing in the world, dude.
All right, so that pretty much does it for the show. I'm going to announce my next featured game that I'm going to be playing. This is going to be in addition to Ghost of Tsushima because that comes out on Friday, so I'm going to be streaming that next Saturday. And I'm going to be playing that at least once a week on stream. But I'm picking Little Nightmares as my next pick for the featured game that I'll present in 3 weeks. So I can't say that I'm gonna play a lot of that on stream, but I definitely will stream it at least once. It allegedly is only a 4-hour game. So
I beat it on stream. I mean, I had 2 other people helping me, but it's not too bad.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that hindered you, dude. I watched Faye play that, dude. She like fell 3 times in one.
Anyway. Maybe bad platforming runs in the family.
Oh no, you did good in Mario.
Anyway, so yeah, that's my next game. Next week's game is Katana Zero, and Colin is presenting that.
You're gonna love it. Patience,
dude, you will. Friend. Have you played any of it yet, Colin?
No, I'm going to.
And you can
bro.
You push yourself, and I don't recommend this because it's exhaustingly intense, but like not like exhausting, but it's like extremely intense. You could one stream it. I beat it in about 6 to 7 hours, but I did in 2 streams.
Probably do like a 2, 3.
I did too, yeah. And it was the story is yeah, you're gonna shit yourself.
Dude, it's so emotional and awesome.
Though,
oh,
I'm telling you,
God damn, it's so good.
You think you're awesome every time you beat a room. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm a beat. Like very Celeste.
I can't wait. And actually, you're the one who picked Hotline Miami 2, right?
No.
Colin?
Yeah.
Colin
if you enjoyed that game, I think you'll enjoy Katana Zero because it's
same.
It's not top down. It's it's a side scroller.
It's like the
but
most
it definitely has a similar.
It
definitely has a very similar feel as far as like the gameplay loop is concerned.
Dude, it's literally the most vulgar game I've ever played. Katana Zero. It's like the most intense dialogue for like with the characters.
Intense.
Do you remember like the just like the shit the characters say? I'm like,
it's wild.
I said that out loud on stream. Wow. There's like some fun,
and there's some like crazy reveals. Like actually, one of them, like part of one of them, out of context, is in my away screen, my be right back screen.
No way.
So, but
there's a lot of crazy story shit. The ending is
so
mind-blowingly
cool.
good.
I can't wait for you to play that.
Yeah,
I look forward to it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. Anyway, let's wrap it up. I'm Paul. You're currently on my Twitch channel. If you're watching this right now, you can also find it on the YouTube, which I don't know if we have a command for that, but I think we have. Here's the YouTube channel where you can follow us for. Oh, there we go. Boom. Shamali, clutch. So there's our socials right there. You can find me on Twitter at Ryugami Sama as well.
Wait, 4G's copy that real quick and then do that for my stream.
Do what?
There's my social right there. Is the link.
There you go. Josh, where can we find you, homie?
You can find me at Lord Yeshua on Twitch and Lord Yeshua TTV on all my other platforms, Instagram and blah blah and the others. I'm not really a big YouTube guy, but like me and Colin are starting to make more videos now.
We are. Yeah, we gotta make some more. BT.
Don't I have your biggest hit video ever? Aren't I in that?
No, but it's a good one though. It's really well.
I was in Colin's first actual video, and it's, what is it, like 200,000 now?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's a lot of views. Yeah,
it's a good amount for what it was. So
which is awesome.
Yeah, it feels good.
But anyway, there, YouTube's and stuff.
Yeah, you can find me.
And then that guy,
at
Colin.
4Gs and Twitch on 4Gs as well. So my schedule's all over the place. I don't have a set schedule anymore.
Same, yeah. But you're gonna definitely see at least me stream Origami
Wednesday
King
or
pretty hard. Wednesday, me and Colin will be doing a dual stream. I highly recommend if you guys want to see something you've never seen before and may never see another streamer do, like ever, because no one else has what we have. You're gonna see Majora's Mask co-op online. It's really exciting to me and Colin. We're probably gonna.
I'm excited to watch that. Yeah. We're gonna do it on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
so.
yeah, early.
He's off.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try early just in case we have more energy that we can do Banjo-Tooie afterwards if we want.
Cool.
And just like
Okay.
go all day.
Banjo won't be
Yeah.
as good to see because you can't see one another. There's no puppets.
Yeah.
So
But the collecting. So we still get to split
yeah,
up.
no,
and,
that's
like,
that's true.
that's
That'd be
ama-
cool
and-
because I'll
Well,
know,
then we
like,
just put the videos next to each other, and we're just like, it's the same.
yeah, you just
effects.
won't see one another basically, which is kind
But
of
Majora's
sad.
Mask.
You can see one another.
Very
Yeah,
good.
everything
All right,
works.
Watch
well-
us do that. Paul's like, shut up. All right, here we go.
All right,
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. You guys are awesome. We're gonna raid Mandari if you want to stick around.
Alright.
And yeah, thanks again for joining us this week. Everyone have a wonderful evening. We're out in 2, 1. Goodbye.
0.